Good morning, friends. Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body. You are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That's why we're here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 29 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure, because the human biological system, the human body, is a healing and renewing and regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself. No doctors required. No alternative practitioners required. No naturopaths required. The human body does it on its own. And while some folks may call it a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, we want to hear from you. We welcome your calls, and we can help you change your life. We can help you change the lives of loved ones today. This can be the best day of your life. If you're dealing with a chronic health challenge, we want to help you. 844-236-6010. Let us show you how easy, how simple it can be. Get yourself on a nutritional supplement program. Eliminate problem foods. Stabilize your blood sugar. Make sure you're oxygenating. It isn't that hard, folks. Let us help you. 844-236-6010. Guide you through the process. If you have a success story you'd like to share, if you want to contribute to the conversation, likewise, 844-236-6010 is our number. And if you have questions about Truth Skin Health products or comment or success story, we want to hear from you. 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. And if you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear recommended on the program, you can head over to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, and you can order products right off the website. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team right off the website as well, or you can call the phone team at 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. Okay, so we're talking fats and fatty hormones, specifically as it relates to the skin. We haven't really mentioned the skin too much in the last month or so, but that's how we started anyway, talking about fats and fatty hormones, making the major distinction between fats, fat-soluble nutrients, and water-soluble nutrients. We've been talking a lot about distinctions between cells and tissues, how we want to focus on the cell, not the organ. We talked about microinflammation versus macroinflammation. We talked about the distinction between the fatty nutrients and the watery nutrients as well. Pretty much all diseases, all health misery, have some kind of link to fatty vitamins or essential fatty acids or the fatty system of the body. Fats are more difficult for the body to process. Water-soluble nutrients, electrolytes, B vitamins, vitamin C, these are relatively easy to absorb, although we excrete them readily. It's got the opposite problem. With fats, with vitamin E, vitamin A, selenium, zinc, sulfur, essential fatty acids. With these fatty substances, you got to have your gallbladder working correctly. You got to have a gallbladder, which is one of the major reasons why you never want to have your gallbladder removed. It's so silly when you understand how this thing is, how the body processes nutrition, how the digestive system does its business. Why would you hack out part of your digestive system? Well, because we don't know. Nobody tells us our gallbladder is part of our digestive system. Yes, your gallbladder is part of your digestive system. If you have a stone, you got a digestive problem, by definition. Gallbladder equals digestion. If you have a stone, you got a digestive problem. I don't know how, it doesn't get any simpler than that. That's not a reason to remove the structure. If you remove your gallbladder, you're going to have a difficult time absorbing nutrients, absorbing fatty nutrients. If you have an intestinal problem, if you have a liver problem, 34% of Americans have fatty liver disease. You can begin to see why we're so unhealthy, and none of this involves a doctor, or shouldn't involve a doctor. Fat absorption is about intestinal health, it's about liver health, it's about gallbladder health, it's about stomach health. primarily. There's probably other systems that are involved. Primarily gallbladder, liver, stomach, pancreas too, and the intestine. These are all areas of common breakdown as we get older. So as we get older, we're going to have difficulties with our fats, which means we're going to have difficulties with our fatty hormones. What woman can't relate to this? It's not like we need hormone replacement therapy. We got to figure out how to process our hormones correctly. As we get older, and as women get older, and their ovarian hormones, the production of hormones from the ovaries slows down, the adrenal glands are supposed to pick up the slack. Yeah, your ovaries aren't going to be doing their business post-menopause, but your adrenal glands are supposed to pick up the slack. But for most of us, our adrenal glands are so fried, so burnt out from 50 years or 60 years of bad living, stress, sugar, etc., the adrenals can't pick up the slack. And then you think you need hormone replacement therapy. Well, you probably do, but it would make more sense to focus on calming the body down so the adrenals can do their business. There was no hormone replacement therapy on the African savanna. We didn't evolve with hormone replacement therapy. We evolved. The human body today is a developmental product. It's the end result of an evolutionary process that had the adrenals picking up the slack. This is what I'm saying when I say the body is a healing system. It knows what to do. We just got to do the right things to support it. We've been talking about vitamin E, a stupendously important fatty vitamin that nobody gets enough of unless they're supplementing. Vitamin E is a standalone vitamin. It doesn't necessarily participate in chemistry, but it protects things. It's a protector. It's a protecting vitamin, a guardian vitamin. It protects against bombarding molecules from the sun, from oxygen. It's wonderfully sun protective. That means it protects your eyes. That's why you'll see it in eye vitamins. The eyes are kind of like cataracts and eye problems that accrue as we get older. It's kind of like sunburn of the eye in a way. It's a long-term reaction of bombardment from little particles of light from the sun without protective molecules like vitamin E. If you're dealing with any eye problems, vitamin E is a must-have. Heart disease, oh my God, vitamin E is stupendously important for heart disease. And heart disease is another one of those unnecessary health issues. Heart disease and diabetes go hand in hand. Heart disease is part of what's called metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is a diabetes-related health challenge, health condition that affects the entire body. Metabolism means the entire body, but especially the circulatory system, the kidneys, the heart, the vasculature, the blood pressure, as well as sleep apnea and obesity. These are all part of, they used to call it Syndrome X, metabolic syndrome. According to the American Heart Association, 1 out of 3 Americans, this is from the AHA, 1 out of 3 Americans, 34% of Americans are affected by metabolic syndrome, a sugar disease. This is craziness, folks. This is utter craziness. You can think of metabolic syndrome as a sugar disease. And in my opinion, this whole idea of sugar, and I'm a sugar addict as much as anybody, by the way, so we're hardwired to go for sugar. And willpower, it just doesn't work. The only way to really avoid the whole sugar bombardment, disease, all the symptomology of sugar-related diseases is to eat more protein, eat more fat, and make sure you're using nutrients that help the body metabolize sugar. The beautiful thing about diabetes and metabolic syndrome and sugar issues is it's reversible. Not only is it preventable, it's reversible. That means cure, folks. Reversible equals cure. And if you do it correctly, yes, you can cure. But I like reversible better because it tells you there's like a process that's happening. Cure is magic. We snap our finger, we cured you. Reversible means you just turn the equation the other way. You turn the chemical reaction the other way. And that's really what's happening. It's not a cure, it's a reversal. And it occurs all the time. I've seen it with my own eyes. I know some of you out there have experienced it. And yet it's the third leading, maybe the leading cause of death in this country. All right, I'm pharmacist Ben, 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back after this.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, we are back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have questions about the longevity products, health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you're dealing with a health challenge you want help with, let us show you how simple and how easy. That's the key, folks. Simple and easy. Healing and health and wellness are built in. That means you don't have to do much. And that also means if you're dealing with a health challenge, if you're dealing with diabetes, if you're dealing with autoimmune problems, if you're dealing with chronic fatigue, if you know somebody who has cancer, whatever, it's simple and easy to not cure, reverse. Put the good stuff in and take the bad stuff out. It's about as simple as it gets. 844-236-6010 is our number if you're interested in purchasing any of our Truth Skin Health products, including our retinol 5% gel made without preservatives, made with vitamin C and lots of retinol, and no silicone, and no wax, and no oil, and no perfume, and no nothing that your skin doesn't need or doesn't use. Just 4 ingredients, basically. Our transdermal delivery matrix, retinol, vitamin C, and you know what? That's it. Just 3 ingredients, really. TDM, transdermal delivery matrix, vitamin C, and vitamin. That's all you need. That's all you need. When I was in the lab, when I was working in my compounding pharmacy, and I wanted a skincare product for myself, I didn't mix it up with oil and wax and silicone and water and blend it up with an emulsifier and put preservative. I went right to the ingredient shelf where I kept all the active material and put the active material right on my skin. Sometimes I'd add a little transdermal enhancer to get to improve the penetration, and that's it. And that's why I developed the Truth, to give you the opportunity to treat your skin the way I've been treating mine, and my friends and loved ones and people I cared about were treating theirs for 30 years. And that's why I developed the Truth. And it's everything I wanted to do with my other businesses, but because of business concerns and partners, etc., I couldn't really do. So this is my gift to you. TruthTreatments.com. Check it out. TruthTreatments.com. Retinol 5% gel, Truth Serum, Omega-6 Healing Cream, and our Truth Balm. Okay, let's see. Childhood obesity, an exploding nightmare in the developing world. It's not just the developing world. In 2012 in the United States, this is according to the CDC, how can this even be? 33% of children and adolescents were overweight or obese. How can this possibly be? Millions and millions of kids are overweight and obese. How is it? Well, according to the CDC, it has to do with a caloric imbalance. Too few calories expended for the amount consumed. We're eating too much and not exercising enough. Well, it's more than that, unfortunately. You see, how we process calories has to do with nutrition. It's not just calories. Calories are macronutrients, and that's another very important distinction. Making distinctions is critical to understand how the body works. So here's a very important distinction that we don't often make. Macronutrients versus micronutrients. Macronutrients are the calories. That's the protein in your fats and your carbs. Your micronutrients, those don't have calories. That's your vitamins and minerals and some plant nutrients, phytonutrients. And that distinction is key to understanding one of the major reasons why we're not healthy. Too much macronutrients compared to micronutrients. It's not that we're getting too much macronutrients only. That's what the CDC will tell you. That's what your dietitian will tell you. You're getting too much macronutrients. You're getting too much calories. No, it's more than that. It's the difference between the macronutrients and the micronutrients. We're getting too much calories for sure, but it's only relative to too little micronutrients. We're not getting the vitamins. We're not getting the minerals. We're not getting the accessory nutrients. That's why the more micronutrients you get, the less macronutrients you need. That's why people lose weight on the BTT. They're getting the micronutrients that help facilitate the way the body processes the macronutrients. Without the vitamins and the minerals, your body can't use the protein and the carbs as effectively. Without the vitamins and minerals, your body can't use fat as effectively. And that's where the problems come from. It's not so much that we get too many calories, it's that we get too many calories without the vitamins, without the minerals, without the plant nutrients. And by the way, plant nutrients count flavonoids and carotenes. These kind of fall in the little gray area. They're not vitamins and minerals. They're not so-called essential nutrients. They're not calories. They're not caloric. They're not macronutrients. They fall in a little gray area, but I call them I put them in the same category as vitamins and minerals, these phytonutrients, plant nutrients. I consider them personally essential, and I think they are essential. I think we only don't call them essential because when vitamins and minerals and their importance was first discovered, we didn't really know about phytonutrients. We knew there was something in the plants, but we didn't know exactly what they were. Anyway, they're all important. You want to lose weight, one of the fastest ways to do it is get on a nutritional supplement program. You're overeating, you're eating too much sugar. One of the fastest ways to reduce your sugar drives or your drives for food is to make sure you're getting the B vitamins, make sure you're getting your electrolytes, make sure you're getting your minerals, make sure you're getting your micronutrients. This was Dr. Wallach's brilliant insight 50 years ago when he cured himself of Tourette syndrome. He didn't call it that, but he realized there was something he wasn't getting. Well, today there's something we're all not getting unless we're on a nutritional supplement program. That's why to the day I die, I will be screaming from every rooftop I could find how important it is to get on a nutritional supplement program, a strategic one. One that's put together either by yourself strategically or by a company strategically. Diabetes is a classic example of a micronutrient deficiency disease. Yes, there's calories that are involved. Yes, sugar is involved, but the body has a way of utilizing the B complex, utilizing electrolytes, utilizing vitamin C, utilizing vitamin E, utilizing the micronutrients to help us process the sugar. This is why I say diabetes is reversible. You're looking at a micronutrient deficiency. You're looking at the wrong kinds of foods. There's also, by the way, an important relationship between the digestive system and diabetes. This is where the triangle of disease comes in. See, diabetes, it occurs after the digestive system starts to break down. It's a second disease. It's a secondary health issue. Yes, it's exacerbated by intake of foods and nutritional deficiencies, but it starts off, and this is something that scientists have just discovered over the last maybe 20 years or so. Diabetes starts off as dysbiosis. Messed up, DYS, dys means messed up, biosis, bacteria, gut bacteria. This is the start of it all. This is the key, and it happens very, very early. Dysbiosis, messed up gut bacteria begins very early. And yes, eating too much sugary foods and drinking too much sugary sodas, that's all very important. And so is nutritional deficiency, but it starts the gut. So I say, we talk about the gut, we talk about intake of calories, we talk about micronutrients. These are all things that we have in our control. That's why, in my opinion, diabetes is the most tragic. Of all the many health challenges we have to deal with, diabetes is the most tragic because as ubiquitous as it is, and it is ubiquitous, if they tell you 34% of people are diabetic, you can rest assured you can add another 30% of people who have messed up blood sugar even though they're not diagnosed officially as a diabetic. That means as ubiquitous as diabetes is, and it's common, it's tragic because it is so unnecessary. It's so gratuitous. It's so easy to eliminate, to reverse. Just by making a few simple moves. A few simple moves. All you got to do, first and foremost, get yourself on your liquid nutrients, your water-soluble nutrients, the B's and C's and electrolytes. Make sure you're restricting your intake of the foods that spike your blood sugar, and focus on the gut. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back with more good health information and your phone calls right after this on The Bright Side. Okay, we're back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number from the journal Diabetes Care. Hyperglycemia, too much blood sugar, high blood sugar, is associated with worse outcomes for patients without diabetes who aren't officially diagnosed as diabetics after they have cardiac surgery. Too much blood sugar will worsen your prognosis if you have heart surgery. If you're not a diabetic, apparently, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Fact of the matter is one of the biggest problems we have in this culture is just plain old sugar. Up until 200 years ago, we didn't have a lot of sugar. Sugar was just this rare thing. It was only for kings and queens. There was honey, but not concentrated essence of sweetness. So the human brain became addicted or became compulsed, driven to find sugar, because you need a little bit of sugar. If you want to, there's a very interesting relationship between the tongue and sugar. If you're trying to get yourself off of sugar, figure out a way to numb your tongue. Peppermint. If you put peppermint on your tongue, you're not going to want sugar. You ever brush your teeth with a pepperminty toothpaste, and the thought of sugar isn't so great after you have when you have a nice, clean, pepperminty taste in your mouth. If you could figure out a way to slightly anesthetize the tongue, peppermint will do it. Hot pepper will do it. Chili pepper will do it. You don't feel like eating sugar after you have chili pepper, although the two go together, actually. I've seen that. When your tongue is somehow deactivated, sugar doesn't sound as good. There's an old wives' tale I've been hearing since I was a kid about putting sugar. I've never tried this, but supposedly it works. You put sugar on your tongue if you burn your tongue. That's because there's a very, very intimate connection between the tongue and the drive for sugar. If you can hypnotize yourself to numbing your tongue, you wouldn't want sugar. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's see. Before we went to break, let me just say this again because it's so important. We'll get your calls here in just a sec, so hang tight. If you're dealing with diabetes, full-blown diabetes, number one, focus on the gut. Use your nightly essence and restrict or limit the amount of calories you're taking in. Try to eat less food. Number two, if you have sugar cravings, use more protein, use more fat, use the amino acid glutamine, coconut oil. Use more spices with your food, especially cinnamon. Work on things for your tongue. Kind of numb your tongue a little bit with essential oil of peppermint, perhaps. Or brush your teeth a lot, or use Listerine a lot. When your tongue and your mouth are anesthetized, especially your tongue, you're not going to feel like eating sugar. Then use your water-soluble nutrients, your B complex, the entire B complex, but particularly vitamin B1 and B3, niacin, and thiamine. Make sure you're getting all your electrolytes. Drink vegetable juices, great source of electrolytes. Make sure you're using your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, great source of electrolytes. High doses of vitamin C. Make sure you're doing your fatty vitamins, especially vitamin E and vitamin A for that matter. And your minerals, selenium, sulfur, zinc, all the minerals are important. All the mighty 90 essential nutrients are critical. And you know what, folks? When you do it all correctly, chromium and vanadium, when you do it all correctly, you will be blown away by what happens. And I'm not telling you this because I read it in a book. And I'm not telling you this because it makes biochemical sense. I'm telling you, although that's all true. I've read it in books and it makes biochemical sense. I'm telling you because I've seen it with my own eyes over and over and over again, more times than I can count, hundreds to thousands of times. I've seen people drop their blood sugar by using these simple strategies, no doctor required. All right, tomorrow we'll continue talking about the fatty hormone system, and I really want to get into this whole idea of inflammation versus microinflammation, and we'll finish up with Alzheimer's disease. Got so much to talk about here. Then the lymph. I definitely want to talk about the lymph. We'll do that in the coming days. On the bright side, time to hit the phones. Let's go to Gretchen in Ohio. Welcome to the bright side, Gretchen. What's going on?
Hi.
Hey.
I had a question about fasting.
Yes, ma'am.
About it.
Yes.
Exactly what do you mean by fasting? Exactly what can you take?
Think of it on a continuum. That means that there's the extreme fasting, which is, don't eat anything and don't drink anything. Then it goes, less extreme, where you don't eat anything but maybe drink water. And then less extreme, maybe where you don't eat anything but you drink just lemon juice. And then maybe less extreme, where you just eat less calories, and, it kind of gets less and less extreme. Anything along that continuum, as long as it involves caloric restriction, restricting your calories, is going to increase your longevity and improve your health. Anything. I think once... let me just say one more thing. Intermittent fasting once every week, every couple of weeks, where you don't eat anything and you just drink water, I think that's the best. In conjunction with caloric restriction. In conjunction with just restricting your calories.
For a whole day, you're saying? You're
24 hours. Or 48. Again, it's not... Go ahead.
I decided to try yesterday.
Yeah, the whole day?
Well, I had eaten breakfast already, and then I listened to your program. But I only drank water. I had broth. I had chicken broth.
Okay, that's okay. That's not quite a fast, but still, it's still good. You're still on the right track. So what did you notice?
I was okay yesterday.
Heck, okay,
today,
right?
Today I got up, and... terrible.
You were like tired and tired.
My stomach feels like it's absolutely nothing in it.
Awesome. Let me tell you what's happening, okay? when you first start a fast, when you first start the fasting process, you want to be like in bed. You want to be, relaxed, because you're not getting a lot of food. Your body's not getting a lot of calories that it's used to getting. So it's going to start to mobilize some emergency. It's going to think it's going through an emergency. So you just relax. Take a bath. Sit in the hot tub. Just relax. Okay, now, hang on, one more thing, Gretchen. If you have to go to work, you have to participate in your day, you can't just relax. Get some bone soup or the BTT, liquid nutrition, okay, or vegetable juice or vegetable soup.
Well, let me tell you a little bit more. I weighed 125 pounds yesterday, and this morning I weighed 122, and I really can't afford to lose weight.
You don't know that. How do you know that? You see, when you lose weight, you lose fat.
I feel weak.
That's good. That's all. I understand what you're saying. Get some bone soup, chicken soup, or get some vegetable juice. Do you have a blender, Gretchen, of Vitamix?
Yeah.
Go make some celery juice and then call me back, and I guarantee you 100% you're going to feel better with just celery juice and salt. All right? Go get some. Can you do it now? And I'm going to take some more calls, and you call me back, okay? Celery juice and salt. If you have Celtic.
One other thing. I just started back taking the BTT this morning because I couldn't stand just, having broth.
Okay.
That has helped. I don't feel as bad with that in my stomach.
Okay. That's good.
But my problem that I wanted to start this fasting on to see if it would help was I have this terrible, terrible pain in the morning. I sleep fairly well, but the minute I try to get up in the morning, I can hardly lift the covers off my upper shoulders. Just
like a joint pain or a muscle pain kind of thing?
I think more muscle pain.
Okay,
but I don't think it'd be joint because
Here's what's happening, Gretchen. Let me explain to you what's happening, sweetheart, okay? And I got a bunch of calls, so I'm going to have to let you go after this. When we sleep, our circulatory system pools up, especially our lymph system. And that means toxicity, because the lymph is supposed to drain toxins, will start to pool up. And it will tend to pool up in the joints. So it's very common, if we're accumulating toxicity, for us to wake up in the morning sore. That's a sign that your circulatory system is not moving correctly. And it sounds like you got a lot of things going on there. If you want to make a big difference, stretch before you go to bed, stretch after you wake up. Do stretching exercises. And then also, if you can get on a rebound or something to move your lymphatic system, that will help as well. But that's all reasons why you want to continue fasting, Gretchen. And I got a full board here. I wish I could talk to you because you got some interest. Okay, we are back on the bright side. I had to let Gretchen go, but she was raising some very interesting points. When you wake up in the morning and you're sore, and it's very common, especially as we get older, these are signs that this is a sign that the circulatory system, the lymphatic part of the circulatory system, which we're going to be talking about, that's the part of the circulation that carries poisons and toxins and wastes, particularly digestive detritus, garbage, stuff that's not processed correctly from the digestive system. And when we lay down for 8 hours, it tends to pool up, and it'll pool up in the one of the places it can pool up is in the joints and in the muscles, and it's not uncommon to wake up sore. Gretchen was also saying, I talked to her a little bit off the air, she was saying how it happens every 20 minutes. If she's not moving, if she's sitting for 20 minutes or half an hour straight and she doesn't get up and move, she gets sore. And these are all signs that the lymphatic circulation is starting to become clogged. That means you gotta move your body, and deep breathing, by the way, is one of the best ways to improve lymphatic circulation and all circulation, not to mention a great way to get oxygen into your system. Okay, 844-236-6010, Russ in Alabama. Welcome to the bright side.
Hi, Ben.
Hey.
So I am welcome to any suggestions about natural ways to conduce sleepiness. I need to sleep when I need to sleep. But my foremost question is that since I've tried so many things that proved to be ineffectual, if one felt like he had to resort to a trazodone or an Ambien or something like that, firstly, I would like to know which prescription knockout pills would have the fewest and most benign side effects.
You know, you're raising a couple interesting questions. Let's take the first one first. If you're taking a prescription drug, if you feel like you absolutely need a prescription drug, and I'm not judging anybody for that by any means. That means that you have to take extra care with your nutrition. Number one, nutrition to help you detoxify. Number two, nutrition that helps your digestive system work more efficiently, so that you don't have an added load from food into your blood. In other words, your detox system is not overwhelmed. And number three, use as little of the medication as possible. So as far as detox goes, using things like vitamin E and vitamin C, both important for the liver, selenium, the amino acid glutamine, these are all very important for the body's detoxification processes to work correctly. Sulfur is another nutrient, MSM sulfur. So making sure you're using these detox nutrients that I just talked about, the B's and the C's and selenium, etc., zinc also. Making sure you're pounding those nutrients. And then secondly, making sure you're not putting any toxicity into the body through digestive food allergens and foods that you have a problem digesting or breaking down. If you want to do other things, strengthening the digestive system is also good. Probiotics are detoxifying. Let me say that again. Probiotics are detoxifying. So making sure you're not just only taking the Biolumin Nightly Essence, but supporting the environment of the intestine, so the bacteria can do their business correctly. And then the second question, if you're going to use a knockout pill, as you say, very, very cleverly there, Russell, I think Benadryl is probably the gentlest one for you. You know what I'm talking about, Kev? You tried that?
I tried it, and
didn't work as well.
And well, it actually just by the third day, I tried it 2 nights. By the third day, I realized that it was canceling out my brain.
Okay. All right, then you'll have to use one of the fast-acting ones, but they're really addicting. Things like Ambien, the benzodiazepines. As I say, trazodone is kind of a heavy-duty one. I would stay away from that one. Ambien's probably that's the quickest acting and the cleanest one, basically. All right,
okay.
that's why it's so popular.
Benzodiazepine.
They call that a benzodiazepine, yeah.
Oh, well, that is Ambien.
Yes.
Well,
it's a high-tech one. High-tech one. All right, I got to motivate Russell. Thanks for your call, man. Have you tried melatonin? I take it, right?
Oh, that's part of the regimen that works. Unfortunately, alcohol is another part of the regimen that's indispensable to it, and I've got to quit that.
Well, you probably have a lot of cortisol going on too. You probably have some stress hormone cooking in there. I want to get to some more calls here, John, Russ. I got to go. Okay, man. Thanks, buddy. John, what's going on, man? John in Michigan.
Yeah, Ben.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard of Professor Don Scott from Ontario? He's passed away, but he did research on the bioweaponized mycoplasma.
No, I haven't. I think I've talked to you. I remember talking to you before, John, about this. Didn't we talk about this?
Yeah. Well, Dr. Maurice Hillman, who was a very bad man from Merck in the 50s, stayed carried by everybody in North America.
I lost you there for a second, John. Say that again.
Dr. Maurice Hillman, he was in charge of Merck in the 50s, and he stated the disease agent is now carried by everybody in North America and possibly most people in the world.
I don't doubt it.
It's part of all of these degenerative diseases, and Don Scott gives a test, tells you how you can test for this bioweapon mycoplasma. But I relate it to Alzheimer's and also to lupus.
I'm not, John. I don't deny. You're raising a very interesting point. In addition to the toxicity that we spew into our environment unintentionally as a byproduct, now you got to deal with bioweaponized mycoplasma, like military stuff, right? So only human beings crap in their water and then drink it. How can we do this to our environment? What about the uranium stuff? Remember the uranium dust thing from all the bombs they were dropping in Iraq?
Depleted uranium.
Depleted uranium shell dusting. How do we do this to our world? How can we live this way? What is going on? Who owns the world, the planet? Why do we people accept this? So yes, John, your point is absolutely correct. But
well, lupus is what I would like you to comment on. I found out that Glenn Fry's wife has lupus, and I have friends that have had lupus.
Interesting. Lupus is a hideous disease, John. It's a autoimmune disease that affects the connective tissue. 30% of the body's connective tissue. It's the stuff that holds us together. Can you imagine that stuff being attacked in an immune disease, an autoimmune disease? It's awful beyond description. Severe lupus, it occurs in degrees. Autoimmunity, and your point is well taken, there is toxicity that can initiate that, but we can't do anything about it. We don't have control there. Where we have control is for food. And that's why lupus, MS, scleroderma, Sjogren's syndrome, whatever your flavor, type 1 diabetes, whatever your flavor of autoimmune disease is, focus on the immunity. The immune system is the digestive system. Synonymous, not exactly, 90%. So when you hear autoimmune, think food. Autoimmune, food. Autoimmune, digestion. Autoimmune, biolumin nightly essence and digestive enzymes and caloric restriction and fasting. If you want to exhibit or manifest or demonstrate the power of the digestive system, the link between the digestive system, the importance of the digestive system when it comes to autoimmunity, just fast for 24 hours. Watch what happens to your symptoms. Almost guaranteed you'll notice that they're reduced. Now, I'm not saying you to fast forever, you have to eat again, but it will show you how important the connection is between the digestive tract and your autoimmune symptoms. Thanks for your call, John in Michigan. Appreciate it. Brian in Kentucky, what's cooking, man? How you doing?
Good. I have a question about kidney stones.
Yes.
My dad recently had a large one broken up with a laser.
Yes.
They discovered he had 4 or 5 other ones also, small.
Diabetes, blood sugar. Again, simplify. Diabetes, blood sugar. When you have kidney stones, you first thing you want to think about is a blood sugar issue. Sugar and toxicity in the blood, really, just toxic blood, becomes thick and sludgy. The kidneys have very tiny blood vessels. It's like the kidneys are a spaghetti strainer for the blood, except the holes in the kidney spaghetti strainer are microscopic. So once the blood becomes clogged, that spaghetti strainer starts to clog up and stones start to develop. Accumulation of calcium also has to do with dying cells. When cells die, calcium is spewed off into the blood. And it can also have to do with acidity or toxicity. Calcium is one of the ways the body neutralizes acidity. So it's basically the body breaking down, and the first thing to think about is dirty blood, and that means food, and that also means sugar. So chronic kidney stones need to be regarded as first and foremost a digestive issue, and then secondly, or I don't want to say first, but together, a digestive issue and a blood sugar issue. Those are the 2 areas you want to work with kidney stones. For immediate relief, or short-term relief, drink lots of fluids to help dilute the blood or thin the blood. But in the long run, you're going to have to focus on digestive health and the blood sugar system. Brian, I want to get one more call in, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you go. Thanks for your call, though. David in California. Let's see if we can. I've got about a minute and a half here, David.
Okay. Thanks for everything you do, Ben.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Scleroderma, you mentioned it, and I have a friend that has it, and I just want to know how to...
Autoimmune, again. It's an autoimmune, like with lupus, like we were just talking. And anytime you hear autoimmune, think food. Have your friend fast for 24 hours, watch what happens to his symptoms, and then he'll be on board. That means all the digestive things we talk about, caloric restriction, and don't forget a good old, fundamental, Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients nutritional supplement program, and that means the Healthy Start Pack. And I'm sorry to do this to you, David. We just got to go. We're out of time.
I know. Hey,
Thank you for your call, man. Take care, brother. All right, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back at you tomorrow with more awesome, great health information. Have yourselves an awesome, beautiful, spectacular, wonderful day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Bye for now.